Back to another episode of the podcast. On today's episode, I want to discuss some of the notable free agents in the NBA and why they're not signed and where do I believe that they'll ultimately sign. I mean, we still got some guys that are available that could help some teams. A lot of contending teams like DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, Jonathan Kuminga, Benedict Mathurin, Bradley Beal. You know, I feel like with those guys being available, they're trying to. Well, I'm not going to speak for them, but this is just my personal opinion, obviously. I just feel like they're just waiting on the you know, right fit, if that makes sense. These guys have 10 plus years in the league. Not Benedict or Jonathan Kuminga. They don't have 10 years in the league, but the vets that I named earlier, they got about like 10 plus, years of experience. So they just want to make sure like the team that they sign with, they have a chance to like not play, but they're gonna play, but like play like a significant amount of minutes, and also they want to, just make sure that they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's and making sure that they, whatever team that they sign with, they have like a significant role. Because nobody wants to be, and no disrespect to him, but like the Udonis Haslam role, like nobody, I understand like if you're bringing me in to like help the young guys, but I want to play. Like I don't want to just be here collecting a check because now I'm just taking up a roster spot. I could just be giving a dude out the G League or a dude overseas or a younger guy that's been waiting his turn. I don't want to just collect a check. I want to be out there playing. These guys are competitors. They want to win. I feel like at this stage in a lot of these guys' careers, it's about winning now. We've made a bunch of money. We've, been to, all-star games. We've been gold medalists. Like we've signed multi-year, max contracts. Now it's about winning. Like they're on the back end of their career. So now it's like, they're saying, all right, these last few years, let me at least make it count. Let me not just go to to a bottom feeder, and now I'm just, I'm here with a bunch of young guys. It's like I know, and these guys know, like I know that this situation isn't going to be good. Like we're probably not going to win a lot of games. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to show up and be a professional, but I know that we don't have no chance to win realistically. But I feel like, for a lot of these guys on this list, they know that, my next spot has to be somebody at least competing for a playoff spot, if not a championship. Like I was talking to one of my coworkers the other day, and I've talked to a few people about him, and Jonathan Kuminga, like I feel like with him, because everybody in the free agency has their own reasonings for still being free agents. I feel like for him, it's about the money, the dollar amount. I feel like he in his mind he has a set amount that he's looking and waiting for teams to like bite on, but like teams are like, bro, whoa, we don't know if we want to pay that for you right now because we don't feel like we've seen enough from you. Like Golden State, he goes there and wins the championship as a rookie. He doesn't really play much. They bring in all these vets. Kerr's playing with his minutes. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe Kerr saw something that we didn't see. Maybe he knows something. He's with the dude every day. Maybe he knows something that we don't know outside of the fans' perspective. Only thing that we see is what we see on game day, and it's the rumors on the internet. We're not at practice. We're not there. At the film studies. You know, on the bus, on the plane. We're not in those conversations. So I feel like for Kerr, he probably just saw some things. Behind the scenes. I was like, nah, I don't trust you on the court, bro. I can't trust you. I can't trust you on the defensive side. You're inconsistent on the offensive side, and you're just making these mistakes. And it got nasty. We all saw how it ended. He ended up getting traded to Atlanta. They they play they play decently well. They go against the Knicks. They lose. The last game, nobody. It wasn't all on him that they lost, but his shooting ability is not where it should be. I would assume it would. I would have thought it would got better. Being with Steph, being with Clay, being with Kerr. You know, him being in those situations. When Jordan Poole was there, but when they played the Knicks, it just didn't look like his shot was consistent. But I feel like if you had to ask me what team to come in and fit on, he fits on a lot of teams. It's just more so about like what mindset is he gonna come into the team with? Like, is he gonna come in to be a team player? Or is he be like, nah, man, I'm playing for my next deal. Like, I know I just got paid, but I'm trying to get even more money. Like, it's time to make this money. Like, or are you gonna come with the mindset, you know what? I'm gonna accept whatever role this team gives me. I'm gonna do the best of my ability to help this team win. I'm gonna come in with the knowledge of what Steph and those guys taught me in Golden State, and I'm gonna help the guys that I'm with because he's relatively still a young guy. But I feel like for Kaminga, he would fit good. If you had to ask me, like maybe like an Orlando, just thinking, Brooklyn Nets, um, man, shit, Indiana, like he'd be good on Indiana. I feel like he would help Indiana. Uh, I want to say Toronto, but they're still weeding out Kawhi, logistics. So I can't really put him there. Maybe a Denver Nuggets, and those are just off the top of my head what I'm just thinking about. But ultimately, I don't think he will get the money that he's asking for, but I do believe he will end up signing maybe like a 1 year, 2 year with an option, just so the team isn't too like tied down to him. But moving on, let me see. Jalen Duren, ultimately he's gonna go back to Detroit. I don't feel like if a team wanted to sign him, they would have signed him by now. I just don't feel like the number that he wants is just Detroit. They drafted you. They don't have your rights, but they drafted you. Y'all just went to the playoffs. He's going back. We can just he's going back. James Harden. He's going back to Cleveland. There's nobody else. He's just waiting around, seeing. I feel like he's waiting around to see what else moves that they're gonna make to see like how serious they're about to like getting back to where they were in the East Conference Finals. But ultimately, he's gonna go back to Cleveland. Bradley Beal. That's an interesting name. Bradley Beal. He's coming for torn Achilles. Barely, I can't even say barely played. He didn't really play for the Clippers because he ended up getting hurt so early. But I feel like he would fit great on Miami. Like a shooter off that bench, he would fit great on another one. He fit great on Brooklyn. He fit great on Indiana. I can't say Washington because they already got a bunch of them guys. He probably wouldn't fit there. Denver, basically all the teams I named with Kaminga, he could fit there. Golden State, even though they're a little bit on the older side, probably won't need somebody like that because they're older. He's older. Maybe a team like the Mavericks, with Cooper Flag, Kyrie, I feel like he fit there. For somebody like that, and I've been a Brad Beal fan since he played at Florida. Bias, I'm a Florida Gator fan, but I feel like for him, it's about fit, his role, and him just knowing, all right, like if I'm going to be playing maybe like 15 minutes a game, what the shots are going to be, what's the volume of the shots I'm going to get, just stuff like that. But for him, like it's about winning. It has to be about winning now because he's made all the money. Somebody like DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, same situation. A vet, 10 years in the league, been an All Star, gold medalist. It's about winning now. He should be trying to. His thought process needs to be I need to try and be on a team that's contending for a championship. What team could I go to that's good? It's championship or nothing for him. No playoff. It has to be championship. Westbrook, big fan of Russ Westbrook. Future Hall of Famer. First ballot. He's going. Uh, the narratives against him is what's keeping him out the league. Mind you, the narratives about him are now I won't say false, but they're over exaggerated. Like a lot of these owners and stuff like that, they're all in cahoots with each other to where when a narrative is created, they all start to believe it instead of, doing their research on somebody like Russell Westbrook. Like he's never done anything wrong off the court. Does he play with passion? Yeah, but you want to play like that. Like why would you want to play like Russell Westbrook who's gonna, have great energy, gonna play hard, play tough. Um, he's done it at the highest level. He's won big games. Um, I don't know why at this stage of his career we're still doubting him or we're still talking about oh I wouldn't sign him because of his shooting ability or his attitude stuff like that. But you don't know him on a personal level. The guy just wants to play basketball. He just want to hoop. That's all it comes down to. He just want to hoop and he wants to win. That's it. And I feel like a guy like that, shit, if you gave me one team that I think Russell Westbrook would fit great with, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat. Russell Westbrook backing up Davion Mitchell, coming off the bench. I could just envision it now. Donovan Mitchell, not Donovan Mitchell, my bad. Russell Westbrook, Giannis, and Bam on that fast break. Now, a lot of people going to watch this, but, oh, well, when they shoot, it's going to hit the rim, and it's going to be mad bricks, and they're going to have enough bricks to build a house. Yeah, possibly. I don't know. Maybe this ain't gonna make him into Steph Curry, but I think if Russell Westbrook, if he locks in, which he's always locked in, shooting doesn't matter because he knows how to affect the game in so many different ways besides shooting. And I know we're in the era of shooting. Shooting matters, analytics and 3-point percentage and 3-point attempts, which is all fine and dandy. I just feel like if you possibly could get a Bradley Beal for the low and get Russell Westbrook for the low for Miami, those are two vet pieces that could really help you guys really help that team. And I feel like with Russell Westbrook, his tenacity, his defensive ability, his energy, I feel like it would fit perfectly on a team like Miami. With his mind, you got Pat Riley, you got Spo. I feel like that would be a perfect mix. Now, people are gonna look at it and be like, oh, he's a little bit older, but bro, you need that. Like having a team full of young guys is cool too, but you need vets. vets is always going to matter. Like, they're always going to be needed in the NBA space, like on these teams. The problem with a lot of these teams, especially young teams, why they don't, take that next step because they don't got no vets on the team. You got a bunch of 20-year-olds running around with no real guidance. The coach can only do so much. You need the extension of the coach on the bench, on the court. And Russell Westbrook can give you that. Moving on, Peyton Watson. Interesting name, Peyton Watson. I've been a fan of Peyton Watson since he was at UCLA. Actually, before he was at UCLA in high school, when he was like the number one point guard coming out of California in high school, goes to UCLA, one and done, averaged like 3 points per game, but the potential was so much there that the Denver Nuggets had to go get him. He's an interesting name. I feel like a lot of teams could use a Peyton Watson. Lengthy guard, didn't really have the ball a lot in his hands in Denver. That's Jokic and Jamal Murray. They're going to take all the shots. He just came in, to play defense, knock down occasional corner threes, and just bring high energy. I feel like a young guy like that would be perfect. Shit, I'm going down the same rabbit hole of names of the teams I've said before. We don't even got to, we could just run through it. Brooklyn, Indiana, the Clippers, uh, hmm, Phoenix. Let me think. Who else? Brooklyn. Like, we have a plethora of teams that could use somebody like that. Uh, Especially with his championship experience. The guy's got a ring. Like, and people will be like, "Oh well, he wasn't the star of the team. Like, what does that mean?" But it's still on the resume. Like, he still got experience, in those big games, playing under Mike Malone. Winning those championships, winning that championship with Jokic, with Jamal Murray. He has experience. He has the knowledge. I feel like a young guy like that would fit on a plethora of teams. Shit, Orlando could use a great. Orlando could use him like that. They need him, somebody like that. I feel like only time will tell ultimately where these guys end up going. Those are just my thoughts and opinions on what they should do, what I would do if I was them. But I'm interested to see how it all folds out, how it all ends up going. It all playing itself out. Um, this has been another episode of the Better.com podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.